Welcome into today's broadcast right here at Cog Hill Farm. Now, Peaches wouldn't let Nugget into the house for this episode, so here's Jason, Brooke, and our chicken master, Marycarl.
What is up, everybody? This is another episode of the Cogcast Podcast. I hope everybody's having a wonderful, wonderful day. This is a early morning podcast for us.
It is. It's episode number 54.
You remembered.
I did. I checked it out before I came up here. I wasn't going to tell you that, but
It's early. I got my coffee. I wanted to mention this morning.
Go ahead.
That I mentioned this coffee cup in a couple of podcasts ago, that this was a gift given to us by our friends at
Reap What You Sow.
Reap What You Sow. And got some dust in my nose this morning. And it was never intentions of selling Cog Hill Farm coffee cups. And she said that she got hoodles of emails and messages wanting to buy the Cog Hill coffee cup. And of course, she doesn't own Cog Hill, doesn't own the rights to Cog Hill, so therefore she couldn't actually sell that coffee cup without giving us any type of, credit or monetary value back or anything like that. So that would have been a logistic nightmare for just good old local country folks trying to keep up with that kind of stuff. So we've been talking to her, and she said that she would make me these as many as I wanted, and we could sell them. And I've decided that we're going to do that. But this morning I decided I think we better wait until we move.
I didn't know what you were headed towards when you said that.
Yeah.
Because I thought to myself, how many coffee cups can the camper hold?
Yeah, so we would have to store them. We would be in charge of shipping them. Even right now, shipping hats are a little bit more difficult than they were a month ago.
I was
we
thinking
are shipping them, no problem. We're getting them out. But, if y'all could just see what our house looks like.
It's like a maze that's about to get worse. So
It's crazy.
Anyway, I think long story short, you're trying to say that the coffee cups will eventually be available, but not right now.
The coffee cups will be available, but not right now.
However, you can reach out to them and order something of your choice that doesn't have Cog Hill on it.
That's right. That is right. You know what? And I'm thinking I may try to get a stamp made, and I think she could stamp our logo in it.
I know somebody that can make one.
Do you?
Yes, I do. Laura over at Simply Making
That's right.
She makes soap.
That's
and
right.
she gets a man that I know from a friend to make her stamps.
Okay.
And I have no doubt that he can make us a stamp.
I think that'll work out. Make us a stamp and then get us a batch of them made.
We can do that. That won't be a problem.
So stay tuned for that, but we're going to have to get moved.
Probably.
There's just no way that it's going to work right now.
No. And we had talked about making the short run of shirts where we had a limited supply and we shipped them from here.
Right.
We have worked on several designs with that company.
Yes.
And it's put on hold for now. So hope y'all understand. We will have something, but it's going to be in the future. So right now, just continue to log on to thecoghillfarm.com.
And at the top, it'll say shirts at the top on our website.
And we have a lot of shirts for sale. However, these you can get in any size at any time in any color.
Right, because it's a big company that handles these. We don't even see who orders them. All we get is just
We do appreciate everyone that is ordered because we get a small commission off of it. But this is a design, and I don't know if we've ever even talked about it on a podcast, but Marycarl drew this chicken.
Yep, that's a
and
silky.
it's a silky, and these are available for sale in multiple colors, sizes, shapes, all that kind of good stuff. And then Jason has on the tie-dyed, which I think is pretty cool.
Yeah, this is the new tie-dyed shirt.
He didn't order me one of those, so I'm going to have to take it upon myself to go order me one, but that's okay. I think it's pretty cool.
It is pretty cool, and this is all from Spread Shop. It's a company that's tied with YouTube, and almost all your YouTubers use them, unless they do it independent, like we're talking about in the near future. But, yeah, so they make the shirts. They ship the shirts out. And
that won't be any problem for us to continue on because all we do is reap the benefits from the sale.
Right.
I went online and looked at this shirt because I thought it was cool. And y'all, not only do they make them in these multiple swirls, but they make them in like a 2-color tie-dye too, where it would be like a purple tie-dye or a green tie-dye, whatever. So if you don't like this multicolor, that's not all they offer. They offer lots of different tie-dyed configurations as well as solid colors in your Cog Hill. So that's enough of me talking about merchandise. And you too. So on with the show. What we got going on?
What don't we got going on? There's so much going on. Our heads are spinning. We are getting closer and closer to the big move date. It is crazy. We've decided, or you decided, we were going back and forth. What in the world are we going to do with all our stuff? And
I had a hard time going to sleep last night trying to wrap my head around it.
You have got us a pod coming.
Yesterday, I was informed that the move will take place a little bit earlier than planned. Not much, but just a little bit. Well, that little bit got my head spinning to where I knew that something had to be done, and it had to be done quickly. As we had talked about on a podcast that I had called some storage facilities and different things, and I just didn't know what to do because I've never had to store anything before. We've been here for 17 years, and my stuff is stored in my house and outside in our storage houses. So where we're going to store it has been an issue. We got boxes. We got it packed up, but where's it going?
Yep, and then we've called, had no idea that there was such a high demand for storage facilities, and they're almost...
you didn't, but I did because Katie had already...
Oh, that's right.
Piper's mama had already called around, and she was having difficulty here where we are locally. But that didn't mean that they weren't available where we're going.
Right.
So I did call, and they were like, okay, well, we've got one 10 by 10 available at this location, and then we've got a 10 by 20 available at this location. That ain't going to work.
Yeah.
I can't be, loading up here, not knowing where I'm going. And so the bright idea was to check on these pods.
Mm-hmm.
And they're not sponsoring us. I wish they were.
No, I wish they were too. Yeah. They actually bring the storage facility to your place. You pack it up, and then they'll move it to where you want. They can either move it to our new place, or they could take it to their facility and bring it back. So
off-site or on-site, whatever. So it was, kind of costly, but at this point, we're kind of. It's about convenience.
Yes.
This move is fast approaching, and it's not like we're going to have. Well, we don't anticipate having long-term storage. This will be a temporary thing, hopefully pretty quick, because as soon as our building gets in the dry, we can take the contents out of the storage pod and put it into our garage.
Right.
So I'm thinking a couple of months.
That's what I'm thinking too. And we, if we get power to the barn, we can put some stuff in there, but I don't know if we would unload the pod and put stuff in the barn or anything like that.
I would rather it stay, except for freezers and things like that that need to be plugged in and have power.
Right.
I would like for everything to stay in that pod, and then when the garage gets ready, then we put it in the garage. And that way we only move it once, and that's the whole purpose of the pod.
That's true, yeah.
You don't go from point A to point B and then point B to point C. We're A-B only.
Yep, and we were thinking, if we bought a store, if we rented a storage facility that was several miles away, we'll be filling the horse trailer up and the trailer up, and then moving
multiple
the stuff
trips.
There. One over there, then I try and take it out of it and move it back somewhere else. So,
right.
Yeah,
so this will make it
a
two move thing versus 3 move thing.
Right.
So that is coming, and it will be here this week. It'll be here pretty soon. And then we have a date for them to pick it up and move it to our new farm. We're shooting for October 5th. I've already reserved them to come here and pick it up October 5th and take it to the new farm. Now, they did have several requests, and it was like, will it be on a paved surface? Will it be on concrete? Will it be on gravel? Well, at the 40, all we have is like pasture. I mean, there is a semi-driveway that has some gravel there, but it's not like a gravel pad. And so I told him I really couldn't tell you what kind of surface it's going to go on when it gets there. So it may be that we end up storing it at the pod facility. Regardless, we're only moving it, stuff in and then back out. So that's going to happen this week, and that way we can start getting some stuff out of our way and realize what we've got left.
I saw you looking at it. It's everywhere. We literally, me and Marycarl watch a TV show or a movie or something almost every night, and there's like boxes moved away from the TV where we can see. It's like a Tetris game.
I felt like we started in ample time packing.
Yeah, I agree.
We started going through some things. We've made multiple trips to the Goodwill.
Yes.
We have a booth at the flea market. Anything of value that we don't want anymore, we're selling it. But now that it's getting down to realizing what all we have left, I'm kind of thinking, how much did we get done?
Oh, we got more than you think done.
Well, the thing about the pod is I said to myself, okay, so like if it's 10 o'clock at night and we realize, oh, we forgot this box, we can run it out to the pod and put it in there.
That's right.
And my thought for the pod was initially just boxes. Well, when I'm on the phone with them, they're like, okay, how many rooms of furniture will you have? I'm not thinking furniture. I'm thinking boxes.
Yeah.
And I knew we had to store our furniture. I knew that. But I told him, I said, it's really not that much furniture.
It's really not that much furniture.
I'm not taking my kitchen table because I'm getting a ginormous kitchen table built.
That's right. Off a piece of wood from our new farm.
It's still sitting there. We may have to eat at the bar for a while, but hey, that's okay. That tree is still live and green at this point.
Yes.
Its roots are attached and it's like this. But
so, Derek, I know you're listening. We're going to get that tree to you, buddy, but it's going to be a little bit.
Yeah, he even offered to come and pick it up, but it's just the point that we haven't had time to cut the tree off and have it ready.
That's right.
So, we'll have a place to eat.
Yeah, we'll have a place. We're going to have an island that's going to have stools and chairs on it, so we'll eat there.
I must say, even though I'm feeling a little overwhelmed, I'm getting excited.
I know you are, and this is what's funny, because most of y'all know about my social anxiety and that kind of thing. And I also have an anxiety when it comes to cars and driving. I don't know what it is. I just get super nervous.
What are you getting at?
But this stuff doesn't make me nervous at all.
What, moving?
Yeah.
Oh, I can tell because I am like so planning ahead.
Your stress level is like way up here. And I'm like, we'll get it done.
I told a friend of mine last night, I said, I don't know if it just all occurred to me at one time or what, but I'm nervous. I'm feeling a lot of anxiety that I hadn't felt in the past. And I told her, I said, Jason says, it's okay. We'll get it done. Yeah. I said, how can somebody be that calm, cool, and collective when we have a house full of stuff, a barn full of stuff, and a farm full of animals that have to have houses built and moved? And we got a little over a month to do all that.
It's okay.
He makes me feel good, doesn't he?
I've tried to make you. I'm trying.
Well, you do.
I try my best to calm you down and make you feel good because, here recently you've gotten a little snappy and you just get all freaked out. And I'm like, look,
Jason, there's a whole reason to be snappy.
It's gonna be okay. Everything's gonna work out.
Okay, I trust you. Yes. I really do. But that being said, yesterday we were over at the 40 and the trailer's been sitting at the 40 with some Airstream axles and a clawfoot tub on it. And we literally just have not had time to get those two things off. Well, I told Jason yesterday, I said, look, I feel like I'm the one in charge here in case y'all don't realize this because if I had not said, we got to get that stuff off that trailer and take that trailer home so we can load stuff on, it'd still be sitting there. Am I wrong?
I don't know.
So here's a storm coming in, a big storm.
Yeah.
My mom tells me it's coming, a big storm. Well, that's a little bit south of where we were. And it just so happened that storm was going south to north, which was right where we were.
Right.
And I said, okay, so we're seeing the clouds rolling in and the sky getting dark. And my number one agenda for yesterday was to get that stuff off that trailer and bring it home so we could start hauling stuff over there. Well, We did that with minutes to spare.
We got it done.
We got it done. We got the trailer hooked up. There were some issues. I did lose it a couple of times thinking that it wasn't possible, but Jason held it together, and I don't know how he deals with me sometime, because I was just at the end of my rope. I thought it wasn't going to work. I said, we got to get this trailer over there. I ended up picking the trailer up with the tractor because we couldn't roll it up high enough to get it on the truck. Long story short, it worked.
Well, the issue is that we went camping, a couple of weeks ago on vacation, and we took the little SUV to pull the camper with, and the receiver had been turned upside down, and the ball was on the high end.
Because I needed the height
for the SUV to pull the camper with.
But you know what?
And so you put that one in the truck.
No.
And then the truck's so high.
You know what?
What?
I didn't take that receiver out of my car. That receiver is still in that SUV.
Well, where did that one come from?
It's the one that's been in the truck all along.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So we got about 50 receivers sitting here, and I'm about to put all 50 of them in that truck because we needed to move the little canned ham camper yesterday.
Yeah.
Out of the way.
And it was too high.
It was too high.
For the side-by-side. It jacked up too high for the side-by-side. It wouldn't come down low enough, but it was too low.
For the truck.
Because the receiver's upside down. But it's all right. We got the trailer hooked up.
Don't you love his
We're going to go back today.
happy-go-lucky attitude?
We're going to go back today, take the receivers, and move the camper, and everything will be fine.
But before we do that, we've got to figure out what all we're going to load on that trailer to get over there.
Yeah, we'll get some stuff on it.
I was so worked up from last night thinking of the things that do need to be moved that this morning I sent the buyers a message, and I told her, I said, look, our houses will be cleaned out, but there may be a few things left over outside that still need to be moved.
Right.
Meaning buildings and things and cages and stuff that we don't need immediately. And I'm waiting on a reply from her. I hope that'll be all good.
She's going to say that's fine. Trust me.
But it just worries me to, if I was buying something, I would want it to be completely cleaned out and everything empty. But I think they understand that they're coming from Seattle, Washington. So that's a cross-country trip. And weather starts moving in. Mm-hmm. I believe it's the Colorado area when, snow starts hitting the ground pretty early. Uh-huh. And you couldn't travel through the middle of the country if the weather is not good for that travel. So they would have to make a trip all the way around. And that's why they wanted to do it now versus on into November or December or January. And if we waited, it would be spring before we thawed out. So
that's what they said. They said if something happened and if the move couldn't happen in the middle of October, then it would be next spring before they would be able to move.
That's right. And so I'm really kind of tired of taking care of two farms.
Yeah.
Every day here lately, we've been back and forth. We've been at one place and another, and animals are here. They have to be taken care of, and they will be taken care of. That's our first priority. But then we're working on their housing and their, different things over at the 40, and that has to be done as well because we will not leave our animals here.
Right.
They'll be moved when we move, and so it's just been a kind of a whirlwind trying to get two things taken care of.
That's right.
So I think all in all, it will be much better after October the 5th when we get everything
out there.
Pretty much. I mean, all of our things we need to care for at one place.
Yeah, it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. I think our next step is, and you guys will see some videos coming out here. We're going to start on and I mentioned it in the last video, we're fixing to start on the chicken coop, and that's the big utility trailer that my dad gave us. We're going to start on it and turning it into a chicken coop.
I'm so looking forward to this. I think it's just a glorious idea.
And then I think... my opinion is fencing.
Well, I'm off. I'm letting you handle that.
Then we're going to start the fencing process, and we're going to go out there today, as a matter of fact, and I'm going to take the big long tape measure and some flags or something.
I saw that. somewhere, and I don't remember where I saw it. In the toolbox.
It's in the top of the toolbox.
Toolbox.
And then when I get that, then we're going to start measuring off some fencing and start figuring out and planning Nugget. The main thing is Nugget and the goats. Those guys need some good
and they need
fencing.
to be separated.
And they need to be separated. We can actually put the goats into where I built for the flower farm, my big garden. That's an acre and a half or acre and a quarter. But the pigs are in there, so I got to separate the goats from the pigs. But it shouldn't be that bad.
And one thing is we don't want to put any permanent fencing inside where the flower farm's going to go, because that'll be just torn back down.
Right.
So we're thinking that we're just going to look outside that area and see what we can maybe use that whole area that's fenced off for the flower farm for one set of goats.
Yes.
Fence a new area for another set of goats and a new area for Nugget.
That's what I'm thinking. I think we're going to have like just separate pads down that pasture and then have big gates on the front of it, and maybe put a small gate in between them so we don't have to walk all the way around to go back and forth. That's my plan. That's what I'm thinking about doing. We just need to figure out how big we want to make them. So
you can see where my anxiety's coming from.
Yeah.
I am a good planner because I think a lot, but that doesn't mean that I put it together. I think about it and I know what needs to be done, but I can't actually put a plan into action.
Yeah.
So that's where you come in. I kind of tell you, well, this is what we need to think about next, and then you get that part figured out.
Right.
And I'm thankful for that because... And we were thinking this morning about the chicken tractor. The tractor, the mobile utility trailer that his dad gave us will simply be for them to lay eggs in and to sleep at night. It'll be a safe place that we can shut them up where they can be housed.
Then they could go under it for shade or protection. And we may build like a shade cloth off of it that we can take up and down easily. And
so we don't want them to have full range to the 40 acres. They need to be in some kind of containment so that, heavens forbid, a stray dog or something come. Our property's pretty fenced. We don't anticipate that, but you also have to anticipate the unknown.
That's right.
So I would like to have that poultry netting, which we used to use for our meat chickens, around the perimeter of the trailer, and electrify it.
Yeah, I agree.
To keep things out and to keep them in. They're not going to try to go over a 4-foot net.
Yeah.
We might have a few that stray away for a couple of
we could
hours
clip
or
their wings if we need
we could clip their wings, but for the most part, I'm thinking a 4-foot fence and 100 foot around the perimeter of that trailer. We're going to go ahead and get that ordered.
Yeah, I agree.
So, should we talk about Mama's situation?
We can. We actually, or you actually. All right. So Brooke's mom has been, like a fish. She flip-flopping on us. She wanted a camper, then she didn't want a camper, and then we felt like a camper may be not the best situation for her, but we could do the camper. So then. She's looked at trailers or mobile homes and, it's been several options. And so then her sister has an apartments.
Yes.
In some
in
houses.
Monroeville. So she could go down there and she could stay in an apartment. And her cat, Sassy Man, is her number one priority. So she needed to be able to take the cat, and her sister said, you can take the cat as long as the cat will go in the litter box and it won't be a problem. Well, that's fine, except she's inherited our dog, Jewel, and she fell in love with Jewel. So Jewel now stays inside her house 24/7 and is a fat, lazy blue heeler. And Mama just adores Jewel. So she didn't mention the fact that she wanted to take Jewel with her to Monroeville to stay in the apartments, but I think that was high on her thinking.
I think it was too. So she felt uncomfortable about all that, and I really think that she would be. She would be missing us too, especially Marycarl. Marycarl's right next door, so she can go see Marycarl. And if she goes down there,
it would be a big transition.
It would be a big transition. So then she was thinking about getting a camper again. And, You know,
we just didn't know. We didn't know what the best solution would be because when you step out of a camper door, you're immediately going straight down.
Yep, and we didn't want her to slip and fall on the stairs. So that's been a situation, and lo and behold,
it's been on my mind.
Been on your mind big time.
I sat down at the desktop computer.
Yeah.
And I sat down to answer you guys' messages.
Yep.
And so I have to log off of my Facebook profile to log in to the Cog Hill. So mine's up there. And it gives me suggested for you on like the marketplace.
The marketplace, yeah.
Suggestions for you. Well, I haven't looked at campers in months.
Nope.
Because I was overwhelmed at what she may need. I was overwhelmed from looking for us.
Mm-hmm.
I just said, I haven't looked at anything basically.
Right.
The only thing I've been looking at is like big dog kennels and chicken coops.
Mm-hmm.
And so it says suggested for you, tiny house.
A tiny house.
A tiny house.
And we've looked at tiny houses before in the past, but it's been a while.
We've looked at them, and everything that I have ever found has been,
crazy priced.
well, priced accordingly.
That's true, yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, you're right.
You don't expect to buy a house and it be reasonable
Right.
if it's, what you need.
Right.
It's just they're not reasonably priced.
Right.
If you're going to live in it for the rest of your life, then, you could justify paying the price that most of them are, but not if it's a temporary
Right.
housing. So, tiny house right in front of me. I click on it, and I look at it, and guess where it is?
It is like 12 miles from the 40.
12 miles from the 40. And so this was like 8:30 at night. Jason was working on editing some videos, doing some things. And so I said, Jason, I'm fixing to send you something. Look at it.
Yeah.
So he gets it and he says, all right. Well, that's how Jason works. He doesn't say, oh, that's great. Call him. All right. So I said, do you think it's too late to call him?
I did.
He said, it's 8:45. It's probably too late to call him. I said, I'm calling him. I don't know why I asked him if I thought it was too late because I was going to make my own decision anyway. So it was like hidden information.
Yeah.
Hidden information.
You couldn't see the phone number.
And I get that because there are so many people
There
that
is,
just
yeah.
call and, just pester you. So we finally figure out how to uncover that hidden information. You helped me with that.
Yeah.
You found me a phone number, but I did the calling.
Right.
I call and it says, please leave a message.
Yeah.
Hi, my name's Brooke. I'm calling about the tiny house. I wanted to see if it's still available and when I could look at it. Thank you very much. Please call me back. This is my number. Leave them a message. Also send them a text.
Mm-hmm.
Did not get any. I constantly looking at my phone before I go to bed, which is pretty early, 9:30 or so. So the next morning, first thing I do is I grab my phone and I look at it, and I have a text. And guess what it said?
What?
It is available. That's all it said.
Oh.
It is available.
It is available.
It is available. So I said, Jason, it's available. It's available.
And it's a great price.
It is a great price.
Really great
and
price.
And it looks great. However, you can't really tell everything.
Yeah, you
about
really
it.
can't tell everything about it on the pictures, but it had been, it's one of these barn loft houses
Yeah.
that you get. It's like, 16 by 32, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a Cotton State Barn was
Yeah.
the manufacturer. And I've seen these things in the past be turned into tiny houses. However, it's pretty costly to do that. And we don't have time to be doing that. We
No,
could do it.
we could do it. Yeah.
But it might take us 6 months to get it done.
Right.
And we don't have 6 straight months to get anything done.
No.
So I call her immediately when she said that, and she answered. And I said, look, I want to look at it. I want to look at it. When can I look at it? And she said, well, I'm at work right now. I can let you know when I head home this afternoon. I said, okay. Well, I didn't think to ask her about what time that'd be or anything like that. And so I'm thinking my wheels are turning all day. Wonder what time she gets off work. Most people get off work at 5, but
Right.
I don't know that for sure. And I'm trying to plan my day and figure out what we need to do. And in the meantime, you needed to edit a video, and Marycarl and I had planned to go see Piper's new house,
That's right.
take garbage to the dump,
Right.
and get feed on the way home. So I tell Katie, I said, I have found Mama a tiny house, but I don't know what time the lady gets off, and I sent the lady a text, and
Yes.
she didn't respond to my text, and she said that she was having some problems with her phone, and she had told me that on the phone. So I thought, well, text is not going to work. So long story short, I go on, and I tell Marycarl, come on, let's go. So
And y'all were going to Piper's house. That's
well, no.
Katie's
No,
Piper's
we
mom.
were going to go on to town and dump the
Right.
garbage and get the feed. So before I leave, I tell Katie, I said, I found Mama a tiny house. I said, I don't know what time this lady gets off. What time are you thinking for us to come? And she said, okay. She said, I can meet you there at 3:30. I said, okay. Well, in the meantime, I found out that the lady could meet us at 3:30.
That's right.
So I'm in town, and it's about 1:30 at this time. I go dump the garbage. I go get the feed. And I come home, and I tell Jason that I am fixing to go look at the tiny house. Marycarl didn't want to go.
Mm-hmm.
Mama did. She said, I trust your judgment. You go look at it. You tell me what you think. And so I was going by myself.
Yes, you were.
And you were editing a video, and you said, hey, you said, I'll go with you. I'll just stay the night at the camper and finish it editing the video and upload it, and we can go look at the tiny house. And I was like, are you sure? Because that's really going to interrupt what you're doing in the middle of. So you said, okay, sure, that's fine. That's fine. So me and you packed up, and we went and we looked at it.
We did look at it, and I must say I was very surprised at how awesome it was, because it was pretty awesome. And another thing that I didn't know is that she'd only been living this thing 2 weeks.
Yeah, she bought the thing and then decided to convert it, to a house.
Yeah.
And so she had somebody working for her, and she gave him the money to buy all the materials, and it had been new appliances.
It's got new appliances. It's got a stackable washer and dryer that's never been plugged in, a tankless water heater, kind of like a mini split type air conditioning system that's
All in one.
A full size shower,
A stove,
a huge farmhouse sink.
farmhouse sink with a nice looking, modern looking faucet,
And it
butcher
had
block countertops.
butcher block countertops, and it's been decked out in like old wood all the way around, and then like rusty tin around the bottom. It was really, really cute. It looked really, really. I was impressed with it. It's got a loft. It's got an attic space. Well, the other one's kind of like an attic space.
Yeah.
But the other one's like a full loft that you could actually. Most people put a bed in, but your mom, she couldn't put a bed in it. She couldn't go up and down the stairs.
she couldn't
She
go.
could, but we wouldn't want her to.
We went one or two.
It was about 75% finished.
I'd say more than that.
Maybe 80% finished.
Yeah.
It just needed the walls covered in the other 20%. She had just told the guy to stop.
She decided that it wasn't going to work for her.
It wasn't going to work for her. She thought she could, but then she decided she wasn't. She wanted to be closer to her sister, and that she had found a place that she could, I guess, basically rent closer to her sister, and she just wanted to get out of the tiny house.
She wanted to get out of the tiny house, and so she had someone else put it up for sale for her.
Right.
And listed it on the Facebook Marketplace. And so I wasn't actually sure who that person was that listed it, and then who I was talking to. When you see somebody listed, you can see their face, and you can kind of check them out by their profile. Right. So we didn't really know what we were going into when we went over, but she was a super nice lady.
Super nice, super sweet, just as honest as she could be.
She was too honest. I mean, I don't know if there is such a thing as too honest, but she just she disclosed things that she didn't even have to.
Right.
So as soon as I went in, and you, me, and her were standing there with a cat and a dog, and I felt all that space around me, I said, this is it.
It's really, really spacious. Like I said, I was impressed with it. 100% impressed with it. It, like I said, needs to be finished out, but I mean,
it doesn't have to be finished out to live in.
Yeah, it's totally livable now. You just see just exposed studs. It's insulated and all that. But I mean, to be honest, it doesn't need to be finished out for your mom to actually live in.
No, I'm not worried about that. I mean, she needs a shelter. She needs somewhere to stay for Jewel, the blue heeler, and Sassy Man the cat. And then, somewhere that she doesn't go out like this. And that's another thing is it had a little deck when you walk out the door.
Yes, got a deck because she wants a screen-in porch, but this could be her little screen-in porch until the house gets built.
That's right. So, I just thought it was awesome. Are you okay?
Mm-hmm. Fine.
Thought you were throwing up.
No.
I thought you finally got nervous on me and that anxiety was taking over.
My anxiety is totally different.
So we bought it. They are on the spot. We bought the thing.
We did.
And now we got to get it moved.
We got to get it moved, and she's got to move out, and she'll be moving out this week.
Yeah, she'll be moving out this week. So if we don't find anybody to move it immediately, I can pay another month of lot rent, which is not very expensive,
That's right.
and leave it there throughout the month of September.
Correct.
Until we can find somebody to move it. I've contacted a couple of people, have a couple of things in mind. I do know approximate cost from talking to someone who knows this. So we're just basically waiting on a call back to get it moved.
And what's great is that the new farm, the 40, there's a pad there where a guy had a mobile home there that's got power, that's got water, and it's got a septic tank.
So, I mean, how much better could you get?
Plus,
all we got to do is back this thing in.
Yes.
Well, not us.
Yeah, not us.
Back it in, get it level.
Even though I think if you could get the tractor down yonder and load it up on the trailer, you would bring it yourself.
Yesterday, what I accomplished yesterday from moving that little deck thing, I feel like I can move anything.
Yeah.
I could back that 20-foot trailer right under there, and we could get it down some kind of way, and off I go.
Yeah,
you could escort me. Marycarl could drive the side-by-side behind me, and we could go our 12 miles and get it to the new farm.
You know one thing that I like about it versus the camper, a camper's a camper, even though it's got the stabilizers on it and all that, ours has got the fancy-dancy automatic stabilizers that level the camper and all that. It still moves.
Well, a camper's meant to move from point A to point B.
But when we were in this, it's solid.
It's solid. You feel like you are in this house right here.
I mean, it was solid.
I said to myself, I think once Mama's house gets built, we'll go into that into more detail as we get plans back and such as that. But we will probably keep this tiny house.
I think so. I think we'll keep it. We may even keep it where we don't know yet. We may move it. But anyways, long story short, we may keep it. Maybe turn it when we get the pond built. It can be like a little pond.
What do you mean
cabin.
we may move it?
Well, we talked about getting rid of those power poles there.
Oh, I'm not worried about that.
Okay.
We're gonna if we keep it, it will stay right where it is.
Got you.
We're not moving it again. Because I would have to get somebody else to move it, and you're not going to handle that. So it's staying right where it is unless we sell it.
Okay.
Okay?
All right.
We can't move it just across the way.
I was just thinking that power pole's dead center of our house, and we look out the
That's
front door,
fine.
we see
I
that
can
power.
pay them to move that power pole and that transformer.
Yes.
I'm going to plan to do that.
Right.
On that power pole that they moved to the left, they can put the transformer on that and run that power to there.
We'll get it figured out.
I'm not worried about that.
Right.
If we want to keep the tiny house, we're keeping the tiny house. And I'll get the power pole moved.
The old tiny house.
I
is cute,
love
though.
it.
It is.
I just love it. And I
do
was
too.
so excited about it.
Yeah.
And Mama, like I said, she didn't go with us. She just gave me the go-ahead. If you think it's what I need, then you go ahead with it. And so lo and behold, that's just what I did. I called her and I said, I bought you a house. So she's thrilled. She is thrilled because as much as we didn't talk about it, she was anxious about, she didn't know where she was going.
Right.
I mean, it was our responsibility to find her somewhere. So the anxiety was really on me, but she was anxious about the not knowing.
Yeah.
Not knowing part.
Right.
So all that settled. I told her, I said, Sassy Man is going to love that loft.
Yeah, because this lady had a cat too, and I watched him. She had a ladder that was a temporary ladder that the workers had put in there, and it was built on for the loft because he was supposed to build her a set of stairs. And the cat walked up it like a human. It was like 1 foot like this and pulled itself up, went to the next step. So, yeah, I can see Sassy Man.
He's going to love it.
He's going to love it.
She had a scratching post out in the middle of the floor. And,
She did.
You know, it was set up for animals, and I just could see Mama living in there with her dog and her cat, just like her.
Yeah.
Just like her. So next step is get this thing moved, and we will, of course, do a video on it. And,
We'll
and y'all
get
can
all
see
that.
how awesome this thing is and how I almost just, I don't know if I feel like things are meant to be or not, but I feel like this was meant to be.
Yeah, it was. I think so too. It just
I wasn't looking, and it popped up right there in front of me.
right in our lap. It was pretty awesome.
So
Pretty awesome.
So yesterday I kind of got my tractor and I scraped that area around and got it all ready to where all they have to do is just back in and put the blocks up and unload it.
We cleaned up. We've been cleaning it up a little bit, here and there. I cut because it had a bunch of saplings that started growing up on it.
I'm glad you did that.
Yeah.
When you did, because the stumps were rotten.
Yep.
To where I could just scrape them up.
They just scraped right on up.
I was amazed.
I was too, because I thought they were going to stay in the ground.
I did too, but they're all gone.
Yeah,
There's nothing there.
There's nothing there.
And that pad is just like it was built for what we're using it
It's
for.
got gravel on it and
got
all
gravel.
that. You couldn't see all that before because it was so overgrown, but
Yeah.
I've been working on it here and there, and it turned out good.
I was thinking yesterday while we were doing that we needed to be doing something else, but that had to be done. So
Yeah, it had to be done.
It had to be done.
The house being moved is going to happen pretty soon.
it is. We'll have 2 days left in the month of August to have it moved after she moves out. So it can happen during those 2 days if I get somebody lined up. I hope it does. But if it doesn't, it'll be sometime during the month of September. We're going to be prepared nonetheless.
That's right.
To where all they have to do is just back it in there. And we're pretty much there right now.
Yeah.
The rest of it will be on us as far as hooking up the power, hooking up the water, and
Right.
hooking up the septic tank. We can handle that.
We can handle that.
We can handle
We
that.
can handle that. So that shouldn't be a big deal at all. It was, like I said, I'm just happy that that's over with. And I know
Me
you're
too.
happy.
I slept so good that night just knowing that was out of my, I don't even know what you call it. Just, it was off my agenda of things to do. And one more thing scratched off my list, which was a big thing. So I woke up last night and I said to myself, we have 2 deep freezers that are full of food that we have to move, and we don't have power anywhere to plug them in. So what we going to do?
We'll figure it out.
I just love him, don't y'all? Don't y'all? I mean, we have 40 days, and we will get it figured out.
You know what I was thinking?
What?
That little thing that we took down yesterday, what if we cut the legs off of it, made it flat, and then flipped it back over?
I don't think we could get freezers on it.
You know?
No, it'd have to be enclosed, and that would take us several weeks to get the materials to close that in and all that good stuff. So I'm thinking that we'll just get power in the barn, and we'll put them there. And I also thought last night, I said, you know what? When we're pouring the slab for our house, do you know how that barn has those 2 alleyways where they squirted it out for the pigs, for the water to flow down? Why don't we get them to fill that concrete in so it's a complete slab instead of those?
Yeah, we could probably do that if they're up to it.
Well, they won't
Just back the...
not be up to it. We pay them and they do it.
They could get that...
I mean, heck, we
Concrete
could
truck
do
down
that. If the concrete truck goes down there, then we can take a trowel and
It
smooth
don't
it
have
off.
to be perfect.
No,
Yeah.
not at all. We won't need any finishing, guys.
Yeah.
We just need pour it.
Concrete
the
in
form's
there.
there.
Yeah.
The form's there. It's concrete on both sides. Just fill it in.
Just fill it in.
And it might be that we want to get some fill sand or something so we don't have to pour so much concrete.
That's true, too. Anything about that? Or gravel.
Dirt, anything.
Dirt. We got plenty of dirt.
We got plenty of dirt. So anything we need to fill it in, I think it just needs to be about 3 inches probably because we're not going to be driving a vehicle or anything on it. Just for us to walk on.
Yeah.
So I thought about that last night. It'll leave me soon, so I better write it down.
Better write it down.
But I thought that would give us a whole working surface where we're not dodging those,
Plus, too, I think that would be better, for mice and rat prevention.
Yeah, because right now they've got that drain pipe, and that's simply to let that water go out.
So
Well,
when
there
they
wouldn't be
squirt
any
it out-
water in there, so we could just clog that hole up and eliminate that tunnel for them coming in and out.
That's right.
I thought I did pretty good
That's a
with my
pretty good
thinking,
idea.
but I'm overthinking things.
You do that, but that's okay.
So today we have the 20-foot trailer here.
Yes.
We have a greenhouse in our backyard that we plan on trying to get moved today. I don't know if that'll happen or not. It's not that heavy.
It's not heavy.
It's just kind of awkward. And, you know, I saw a message somewhere and somebody said something about they kind of thought we had help here on the farm. And I think a lot of people probably think that.
No help.
They probably think that we have somebody that comes in and helps us.
I wish we did.
The first time we have ever had anybody help us here is when we went to the beach and we hired Kate, who is our friend, to come and feed the animals, and that is absolutely first hired help we've ever had on this farm.
Yeah, that's the
and
first
that was
time.
for 4 days.
Yep.
For 4 days. We have no help. It is Jason, myself, and Marycarl, and that is it. Nobody, no friends come help. We take care of everything ourselves. And I think that's why we're tired. But I love it. I wouldn't trade it for anything.
Yeah, we don't have any help at all. No.
You know, you see a lot of these other farms that do have help.
Yeah.
That do have large families, and they have help, and we don't have that here. And we're not asking for help. I'm just saying that that's the way it's been, and that's the way it will continue to be. It's just us.
Right.
We wish we had, and that's something we've thought about too. Is I think they're called Woofers. It's a program that. Laura and Chip Spencer at Spencer Farm, they've had them for years, and it's just somebody that wants to learn farming, and they come in and they live on your property.
It's an internship through the WOOF program, and I'm probably going to butcher this, but WOOF stands for Worldwide Organic Farm Association. I think that's what it stands for. Something like that. And what the program does is more times than not, it's younger people that are just out of high school and they want to learn about farming and doing it a certain way, organically.
And sometimes people are from other countries too.
Oh yeah. It's a big ordeal. It's a big handprint, and so you'll get You'll get all kinds of people from all over the world, and they'll come, and they only stay for a certain amount of time.
I was going to say, I think they sign up for the amount of time that they would like to do it.
I think
and then
so.
You maybe go in and pick the amount of time that you would like somebody to stay there.
Right. I think there's a certain point where I don't know if the WOOF program helps some of the finances on this up to a certain, I don't know how all it works, but long story short, they're intern there. They can only work certain amount of hours a week. You provide them shelter and you provide them food.
Yeah.
And they basically work for free for the knowledge.
Yep.
And plus, too, it's really cool on their end because you're a young person. You get to travel all over the country and meet all these.
I wish they had that when we were younger.
I know it.
We could have went together and we could have been wolfers.
Yep. And you can go from all these cool organic farms from one to the other, because I think it's like 6 weeks and then you move to another farm.
I think it's totally up to you what you choose. I think that it can be as short as 2 weeks if I'm not mistaken, and I think it can be long term.
Okay. But if it's long term, you're out of the program, though. That's
but I mean 6 months or so.
Yeah.
I think you could sign up for a period of time that you choose, depending on what your situation is. But I do think that that's something we would be interested in the future. Speaking of that tiny house and staying there,
that's true.
We've never had anywhere for a wolfer to stay here.
Right.
We had the little Yellowstone camper, but it doesn't have a bathroom.
Right.
And we wouldn't want to put anybody in that kind of situation where we have a bathroom, but yet you have to go in a porta potty or whatever. I just don't think that would be nice on our part.
Well, a woofer would be good once I get the flower farm going.
Oh yeah. Also, I mean, I think that I'm thinking a few years down the road. But
yes, it wouldn't be anything immediate.
It was just fresh on my mind, thinking the tiny house uses once we're done with it. It'd be perfect for somebody to come in and stay long term or short term.
Right.
No, we're not taking applications for.
No, not right now.
My mom has to live it out and enjoy it first, and then we'll pass it on.
We even made the joke that your mom's gonna fall in love with this tiny house and not even want to build her.
Well,
house.
on the way back from visiting with it, you and I were just discussing how awesome it was and how you could live in there forever and wouldn't have a second thought about it.
Yeah.
And then I said to myself, I said, you know what? I said, we've already ordered windows and doors for not to say that that's
right.
big. thing.
Right.
We've already ordered windows and doors for her house, so I feel like it's going to be built. But this tiny house is not going to go to waste.
No, not at all.
It's not going to go to waste. It'll be there. And one more thing that was fresh on my mind was about us, what we eat, and the salmon that we eat.
Oh, I will say this is funny. Number one, if you guys watch us at all on the vlog or this, I am the world's worst at pronouncing things. I just am,
a lot of it has to do what we're accustomed to.
That's one thing, here, we've created words, y'all, ain't, all those are Southern words that didn't exist at some point, and then so we get corrected all the time. I would say almost every episode of something we get corrected on how we pronounce something, and the latest one was salmon because we put the L in it, and it's supposed to be salmon. Is what I don't know how many people told us that, but it was a lot.
How many people told us that? And we know that. We know that. But we are so used to saying salmon. Our parents said salmon.
Everybody down here says salmon.
The cafeteria at school says salmon.
Salmon croquettes are quite popular here.
Salmon croquettes. I mean, I have never heard the word salmon until...
But here's the thing. This is what I don't want to... I'm so simple-minded, okay? If the L's silent, why is the L in there to start with? Why do you spell so, S-O, and S-E-W? Why is there so... It just... The English language makes zero sense. Zero. Why do we have silent letters? Why do we have to have the letter F and the letter P and the letters PH? It makes zero sense.
It doesn't make any sense.
Zero sense. Whoever come up with the English language was... insane.
That wasn't nice.
Well, it makes they had to be crazy. We can spell bow, B-O, and B-O-W,
and B-E-A-U,
and it's none of it makes it. It's
it
zero.
Doesn't. But besides the fact, we realize that it is pronounced salmon.
Yeah.
However, in our 45 and 46 years on this earth, we have never been around somebody that said salmon.
No.
Everybody says salmon.
Well, the word that kills me, and it depends on where you live. There's a line somewhere in Georgia, and I don't know where it is, but there's an invisible pecan and pecan line in Georgia. And depending on where you live in the South, you going to call them pecans or you going to call them pecans.
Well, they're pecans here.
But somewhere in Georgia, they're pecans.
Well, somewhere in Alabama, they probably are pecans.
Maybe so, but usually it's the Georgia folks that will get on you if you call them pecans.
Well, we got on to for saying salmon instead of salmon.
I've got to get on to a lot.
But y'all just have to overlook our ale in salmon because we know it's salmon, but we can't make our brain say salmon because we've always been told salmon croquettes for dinner, boys and girls.
It's just funny. It's funny. It's just the region. Isn't that funny that we're all in the United States and depending on where you live, it's pronounced different. It's just
differently. Yeah,
it really, really is.
I mean, I don't even think y'all is a word up north.
Oh gosh, somebody said the other day that they were from the north, but they moved. It was a message they sent me, and it was so cute. They moved to Arkansas because they married a man that was from Arkansas, her husband, and so she lived in Arkansas. And fixing, and I say fixing all the time. We're fixing to go to the 40. I'm fixing to go fill up the feeder, and that's just second nature. I don't think anything about it.
F-I-X-I-N. No G on the end.
And she said that she loves it every time I say it because when she was in the north, she didn't. That does not exist. Fixing to do something, and then she got accustomed to it in Arkansas, and I think she had moved back to up north or something like that, and she loves it every time I say fixing. So,
well, Marycarl, will say, "Mama, what you fixing for dinner?"
Yeah,
and that's just language.
It is. I'm fixing to go do something, so it's pretty funny. And another one here is Coke. I've said this before. Yeah, we call them all Cokes. Dr. Pepper's a Coke, Pepsi's a Coke, all soft drinks or Cokes.
And then there's something about stuffing and dressing.
The stuffing and dressing, that's the other one. We call it dressing here, and a lot of people call it stuffing.
Yeah, it's just so many things but y'all don't get on to us too bad.
No.
We're not illiterate. We know how to read and write and do arithmetic and
That's right.
and even algebra. And y'all don't think bad of us because we say salmon.
Yeah, that's right.
We gonna eat our salmon. Y'all eat your salmon. It's the same thing, right?
Yeah, just don't. Why do they put the L in there to start with?
It doesn't make sense.
Don't make sense.
You're supposed to say it the way it's spelled.
I mean, you got there. I mean, how many ways can you spell there?
I
mean,
know.
it's crazy.
It is crazy, and it's especially crazy when you're trying to homeschool your child and
Oh gosh.
tell them all those homophones and
Yeah.
why they're spelled this way, and you got to remember how to use it this way and this way. And
It is crazy. The English language is absolutely. It is. I don't. We see Chinese and how it's written and spoken, but I think I've read somewhere that the English language is the hardest language to learn because all the variations we have, which all of them that don't make sense.
yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. We gonna eat some salmon for lunch?
Let's get some salmon croquettes and some syrup.
That's what we ate growing up.
Somebody's gonna say it's not syrup, it's syrup.
Syrup. That's funny. I think that's a good way to end it.
It is a good way to end it. We'll catch y'all on the next one. Y'all be good.